There is over 100% price difference for drafting the same patent. They all say it's high quality. I can't judge that, but how can they prove it? Do patent attorneys have some kind of statistic that can show inventors that it really is a good idea since they get the maximum out of my patent? How can a patent attorney prove that they draft really good patents? I do think you are going to get different prices, for what you're going to get. And I think if you just base your decision on, on an attorney or law firm based on price, then you're probably going to see some corners being cut. You're likely going to, for us, it's just we kind of put our price out there. We do flat fee versus hourly. So that's maybe one thing to start with is there's a difference between type of billing. And we've always done flat fee because I think it's put myself in our entrepreneur or inventor shoes. We want predictability. And so before we start talking about the amount of money, the kind of money, I think is important to think about. So flat fee, you're going to know how much it costs, no matter how long it takes or how much effort or hours it takes the attorney. That can be refreshing, but the price itself can be jarring and high.
Yeah.
So for example, for us, for a provisional, our low complexity is $5,000. That's not an insignificant amount of money. I know there are places that will do it, as this person says, for half the amount, right? And it's a provisional application. So it's hard as an inventor to kind of know what's a quality work. And, I think it's going to come down to interviewing. I mentioned that earlier in the show, getting to know the people, doing research on the attorneys, making sure they are who they say they are, looking at client testimonials, looking at work they've done before. At the USPTO, issued patents are public. And you can actually do a query on law firms to see, and that's part of what, if you go to the patent center and put in agent attorney and bold IP, you'll see our 500-ish patents we've gotten issued. Take a look. And another way to think about overall quality from a kind of more technical, geeky attorney level is we haven't had any of our patents litigated, but that is, in my mind, the ultimate test is if a patent that we help, what's called get a patent issued for, if it actually goes to a trial, and if claims stand or if they are invalidated. That's kind of one of those issues. There's a lot more murkiness to it because laws can change. After patents is issued, laws can change, and all of a sudden that patent may not have as much legal footing as it would when it was just issued.
Yep.
Lots of other things to talk about in terms of quality. You can look at the claim itself and decide its breadth. And that is going to be subjective as all get out, depending on the industry. I mean, the most narrow patent could actually be very valuable in the right industry at the right time. But in general,
and like what we're talking about for the folks at home right now is just one little aspect of the patent,
right.
The tiniest aspect of it. And like folks litigate over this stuff for tens of millions of dollars.
Yes. So I want to answer on this one. I mean, how about you? Maybe you could take this question on the trademark side.
Yeah.
Lots of different variation in price.
Yeah. I mean, I think from my perspective, I mean, it's like a lot of things in at least my experience, you're buying the person, you're buying the service from them, but you're really buying the professional service or the professional that's providing the service. So yeah, I think if you want someone who's got experience, who's a specialist, who is just dabbling on the side in patents or trademarks. But yeah, pricing does tend to change quite a bit, from law firms to law firm, and depending on what product or service you want, right? So at our firm, we have a couple different options for clients. Sometimes we will suggest that the client just move forward with the application because we find no concerns when we do our knockout search, looking for obvious red flags, but a lot of clients are also going to choose to do a full search report and legal opinion. So if that's the case, then we'll prepare a search report and opinion for them. It just depends on client's budget too. But just in terms of picking your attorney though, I think if you can get some references from, other people in your industry, I think that's the best way to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, ChatGPT, this one came back, said some good stuff. Patent attorneys can demonstrate quality through several indicators, high grant rates, also kind of an asterisk, because, hey, if you make it so narrow, you're going to get them all granted. Yeah. Minimal opposite actions, strong claim strategies. You can show past patents with broad enforceable claims, share anonymized client success stories, such as licensing deals, litigation wins, and then technical expertise in your field and industry recognition, also signal quality, and ask to see sample patents they've drafted.
Yeah, I think that'll make sense. I was thinking too when it was talking about like, trade or patents granted, we kind of had the same thing on our side in terms of like looking at the applications that register. It's hard to quantify it though, because not all clients go to market,
Right.
for trademark applications, right? So it's really hard to get a good sense for the quality of your trademark or patent attorney based on those numbers.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I think just I would hire someone based on experience and then just the impression you get from them. Are they someone who's going to be there for you when you need them, right?
Yes.
So
I think people have a general good, they have like an intuition. And am I being oversold? Am I being pitched to? Does this feel slimy? Does this sound good?
yeah,
Even true?
yeah,
Trust your gut, kind of classic advice.
100%, 100%.